Please subscribe and ring the bell.
After you've found and decided on which paper star template that you want to use, go into Cricut Design Space and start a new project. Go to Upload and upload your image. This is how my star SVG opened. Now I'm going to go ahead and hide the insert for this one, and then I'm going to click on all of these and click on Ungroup so I can have them individual. I decided that I did not want my lines to be cut. I wanted them to be scored. So what I ended up doing was altering this image and changing my lines from cut to score. And I'll show you how I did this in case you decided you want to do that as well. I'm just going to rotate my image just to make it a little bit easier to weld my shapes into place to cover up the cut lines. So first you can just pick a square, unlock it, and make it long and skinny to match each line. Once you have covered up all of the cut lines that you want to cover for this line, then you drag and highlight both of them and click on Weld. And you can see that those have been removed. And then just move your way through the image. As you can see, I'm rotating my template to make the lines go up and down. This makes it a lot easier when you're using the shapes to be able to fit them correctly, but you don't have to do that. You can rotate your rectangle image to fit your star template, but I find this way to be slightly easier. And just go through and weld each line until everything is covered completely. So I have this one, you highlight and hit weld, and repeat for all of these. This is what my image looks like after I have covered up all of the cut lines. And now I'm going to show you how to do a score line. So if you go up here to shapes, you'll see this little skinny line here. All you need to do is replace the lines that you covered up with this line. And you can either duplicate each one or you can just add a new line like you would a shape. And what I ended up doing was keeping one of the originals so I can see where the lines ended up meeting. Then you just continue to repeat the same shape all the way through. Also, as you can see, I kept this little cut that goes right here. I did that for a reason. If you do end up covering it up, it's not a big deal. You can just use a pair of scissors, but this is one of the flaps that you need to use to fold your star. So now go through and add your score lines throughout to match the original template. As you can see here that I have added now the individual score lines back into my project. Now you do need a scoring wheel or a scoring pen for your Maker or your Explorer Air series in order to complete the project if you do change this to score. Otherwise, I would recommend keeping it cut. Now once you have all those lines placed correctly, then you want to highlight your entire template and click on Attach in order to keep everything where it needs to be, so then when you go to make it, that the score lines will remain where they need to be. Since there's going to be 5 points, you need to duplicate this 5 times instead of recreating each one individually. Makes it a lot easier. So hit duplicate 5 times, or the other option after you go to click Make It, you can click Project Copies for your star and click on 5 and hit Apply, and it will create 5 points. Now it's time to cut out your paper star. If using a Maker or Maker 3 and you're choosing to score instead of cut, switch out your scoring wheel first. If you're using the Explorer Air series and using a scoring stylus, use that first and follow the prompts to change to the cutting blade. Now curl the back of the mat off your paper in order to prevent the paper from curling, and then remove any extra pieces that may still be remaining. Now it's time to fold along the score lines and glue the inserts into the tips. You can use a ruler if you choose to get your lines straight, but the scoring does a pretty good job making it easier to fold the lines straight. Now prior to gluing the tips together, if you choose to use the inserts, this is the time to glue them in. I just use a small amount of art glitter glue in between the areas prior to inserting to make sure that everything sticks well. Now you can glue the long flap together for each tip. Once all of the tips are completed, now you can start gluing the attachment point tabs together, one at a time. It doesn't matter which direction you choose, but just work your way around. And continue on gluing for all of the first 4 tips. If you choose to use lights on the inside of your star, insert the lights prior to gluing that last set of tabs. The last one is a little more challenging just because there's not as much room to get your fingers into to get the tabs straight and allow the glue to set. Now you can enjoy your new beautiful paper star lantern.
If you got my mommy's video, give her a thumbs up.